Today I would like to share my build of one-handed sword with magic device. For this build we will be using STR as main stat and Dex as secondary stat. Star gems can be purchased at the consignment board and are useful to save some of our skill points. In my case I use the following. Sword Mastery increases our attack by 3% and our weapon attack by 30%. MP Charge restores our MP by 300. First Aid allows us to revive our party members faster. Recovery allows us to eliminate an ailment. And Quick Aura increases our attack speed by 500 points and 25%. Magic Warrior Mastery nullifies the attack penalty granted by equipping a sub-magic device. Resonance averages the percentage ratio of current HP and current MP upon cast, so it is useful to recover MP. It also provides a random buff that can be selected if we use a Regislit. Enchanted Spell allows us to adjust certain skills to be able to use them under certain conditions. For example, I will set Magic Javelin to be used when I use Manual Evasion. When the skill is used, an indicator will be placed in our buff bar. When it reaches 0, the skill can be used again. Dual Bringer is a buff that increases the damage of Reunion Sword, a skill I will talk about later. Float Dash removes slow and stop ailments and doubles our movement speed. It is useful in certain situations such as farming Regislits in Studi. Magic Skin allows sub-magic devices refinement level to grant damage reduction the same as that of a shield and reduces the magical and physical damage received depending on the amount of MP we have at the time of receiving damage. As an extra effect, every 120 seconds if we receive an attack that reduces us to 100% of our HP, we will survive with 1 HP. Enchant Sword is our main attack skill. When using it, it will give us an enchanted buff that we can stack up to a maximum of 9. When using Enchanted Burst, we will consume up to 3 of these stacks and another buff will appear over time. While this buff lasts, Enchanted Sword will become Enchant Burst Sword. Just like we can use that time to cast Reunion Sword, but this will eliminate it completely. Rampage is a buff that increases attack MP recovery by 25. Meteor Breaker at level 1 is useful to evade certain attacks since during its animation it gives us immunity. Aura Blade only at level 1 increases the damage of all skills used by 1.2 times while the buff is active. Long Range is optional. Raising it to level 10 will increases the damage of all skills that can be used from 8 meters or more by 10%. This is a buff only for Union Sword, so if you don't use it much, leave the skill only at level 5. Quick Draw gives us a 30% chance of recovering MP every time we inflict damage with a skill. Decoy Shot generates a clone that hits the target with auto attacks and recovers MP depending on the attack MP recovery we have. It is very useful to combine it with Rampage. When using Magic Impact, it halves the MP cost of the next skill you use. It is very useful to open combos. It must be raised to level 7 so that the cast is instant. Finale at level 1 is very useful to close combos since by costing 16 MP and putting it at the end of a combo with Smite Tag it costs 32 and cannot be casted. We can use MP Charge and Maximizer to recover all our MP, although we are a little discovered during the casting. Rapid Charge only at level 5 to reduce MP Charge casting time by 1 second. Mirage Evasion allows us to evade while casting. At level 1 it is enough, but if you increase its level you can use it more often. Brave Aura increases our weapon attack by 30% and all the damage we inflict by 20%. All the battle skills I have at level 10 are passive that increase our damage. Shikuchi allows us to run towards the target from 24 meters. Flash Blast is a buff that increases our unsheath attack by 10%. And Godspeed is a passive that increases our unsheath attack by 15%. These are buffs that increase the damage of Enchanted Sword. Godspeed Wield increases attack speed by 300 points and motion speed by 10%, can be stacked up to 3 times for a total of 900 attack speed and 30% motion speed. Here are 4 that are very important from my point of view. Power Wave Modifier. This eliminates the passive effect of Power Wave, allowing us to attack from close range. Zero Stance increases the damage we inflict with out-of-combo skills. Remedial Rampage eliminates Rampage's last hit, which is usually annoying, and Extreme Whack gives us an extra 5% chance of activating the passive and dealing extra damage. These are the combos I usually use. They are short and simple. On the main weapon I use Amna's Rapier. I consider it to be the best drop weapon due to its high attack, critical rate, and physical pierce. From stall, I use Devil Dango for extra physical pierce. For the second slot, I recommend Don Profundo or Vlam the Flame Dragon. As for the secondary weapon, we will equip a magic device with a high weapon attack to increase the damage of Enchanted Sword and the time of the Dual Bringer buff. In my case, I use Falidota Shield, although a better option would be Meelee's magic devices drop, which I must farm. The element is not important unless you want to inflict some ailment with Magic Javelin. For neutral armor, I use this with Altidar and DX Figthar. Another option would be to use Lilicarala. As for DTE armor, we can use one without negative magic attack so as not to reduce the damage of Reunion Sword. Do you remember the Dual Bringer skill that I said I would talk about? Well, this skill equals our attack and magic attack for all magic warrior skills, benefiting Reunion since it uses the sum of our attack and our magic attack to inflict damage, but if we have negative magic attack on our equipment, its effect is reduced. For the additional, I use Aching Right Arm with Evil Lafina and Baphomet. Prudent Blue Shadow is currently so expensive that I have not dared to do the up. In the ring, I use Road Sheep Talisman with Red Ash Dragon Rudis and Dominator, but it can also be replaced by Lilicarala. And finally, in the avatars, I accumulate a total of 20 physical pierce. Well, I think that would be all for this guide. I hope it has been helpful, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. That way you will help me a lot.